Well, what about his opponent, Sean O'Malley? We haven't seen him since that fight at the Sphere. Rob, how do you feel he'll bounce back?
Well, after the fight, we heard Sean mention about injuries. I think he had a hip, you know, a hip problem. Sean is a dangerous guy. He needs a split second to finish fights, you know, in spectacular fashion. He's that sort of guy. You could see watching the first fight between Merab and Sean was always, every time Merab wasn't in a takedown or wasn't on top of Sean, we were always kind of like, this is dangerous. I always felt like my hackles rising. I was sitting up in my seat every time they were in the standing position. So I am curious to see how Sean comes out, having felt what Merab can bring. I do think, though, Merab's going into this second contest with a better headspace for this fight. I think he's taking it more serious. I think we'll see less showboating from him. And yeah, I'm curious to see how that changes the fight.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible one. And we're talking about Sean O'Malley. Like, his striking is like some of the best. Like, it is like his timing, distance, variety of strikes, incredible. Really is. I remember I even watched not that long ago some of his boxing footage. It's like, it must have been this camp, I'm guessing, and it was very impressive. I already knew he was an incredible striker, but I even thought he looked even better. And so we know on the feet he's going to be very dangerous. Can he be that comfortable and that free on the feet? That's what I want to see. I think that is the key for him. To go in there, obviously he needs to worry about the takedown, but he needs to focus on what he's best at, and that is striking. So if he can let his hands go, let his knees and everything go, and worry about the takedown as it comes rather than before, I think he's going to be very dangerous. So we'll just see how that goes down.
I really think with his striking, he believes in his instincts to a ridiculous level. You can see the way he moves. You can see the combos he throws. You can see the reactions he makes to throw combos. Honestly, it's his X factor. His instincts, his timing. He's got a knack for striking and for finishing fights. So, speaking to Merab understands this. He understands he can't take his foot off the pedal for half a second. He can't switch off for half a second, because that's all Sean needs.
Do you think you've seen in their last one, like Merab and Sean's first fight, do you think you've seen him be able to do what you're saying? Like, obviously, that freedom of his striking, that X factor you're talking about, did you feel like you got to see that when he was on the feet, or do you think he was a little bit more hesitant?
Well, you know, just playing hypothetical here. Okay, so Sean has an injury going into the fight. Can't stop the early takedowns. Gets fatigued. Everyone is much easier to strike with fatigued. Okay, we saw Merab start to build up to what we saw in the fourth and fifth rounds, where he was just controlling and dominating the entire fight. Okay, now Merab doesn't get those early takedowns this next fight. He doesn't take the edge off Sean's striking. Even still, in their first fight, every time they would be in striking range, I was sitting up in my chair. It just looked dangerous, you know. So I don't know how that experience with Merab, maybe the lack of injury, looks in this next fight.
It's such an interesting relationship the two of them have. So let's take a look at our Musashi top 5 moments in their rivalry, starting with Merab bringing a Sean O'Malley doll to the press conference. Guys, have you ever had a rivalry with an opponent quite like this? I mean, you've both been on The Ultimate Fighter before.
I mean, like, for me, no, I haven't. I like to have a bit of fun with it. I feel like he's still having fun with it. That's what's good about it. It's like, yeah, he's stirring him up, but at the same time just having fun with it, you know, doing his skits, and that's the best way to be about it, because you're not emotionally invested in this, you know, and you're not going to let it get to you. You're just going to have fun with it. He's a crack-up.
The fighting in the rain was great, and then this recently, of course, the two of them in the jacuzzi. I've never seen anything like this, Rob.
I don't get it. Like, I can appreciate it, because I actually find Merab's funny, man. He's a funny guy. He's like an acquired taste.
Tucking the jacket there, Volk?
Yeah, but I don't know how he can be so cool. You know what I mean? You know what? After speaking with him now, I can, because he said it's nothing personal, and I guess like he truly embraces that. It's just work.
Because it can switch from being jovial and joking around to having an epic war like they did at the Sphere here in this #1 slot.
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. The lead up has obviously been fun, and it'll continue to be fun. And I think we're in for a treat in the main event. We'll say in there, I won't drag this on too much, but just Merab can't let Sean get comfortable in there. Because if Sean gets comfortable, that's when you're going to just see him open up and just do his thing.
Can't give him any space. Can't give him any space at all. Needs to be in his face for the entire 5 rounds, much like the first fight.
Well, I might ask about the jacuzzi right now. Here is my conversation with the former champ. Sean, thanks ever so much for your time on Fox Sports Australia, mate. And I got to say, I got to apologise first of all for interrupting your hairdressing session, mate.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. It just got cramming a lot of stuff in on the day before we leave. So yeah, no worries.
Understandable. What are we going for this time around? Any particular colour?
Nope, no particular color.
Fair enough. Is this somebody that you go to? Introduce us to your hairdresser, mate. Is this somebody to whom you're very loyal?
Yes, that's my boo thing. She doing my hair.
I didn't realize
that. Every fight. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, well, sorry to interrupt family time as well, but look, we'll start talking about the fight because it's been a little while away for you outside of the octagon. How have you spent your time away, I guess, since that fight at the Sphere?
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like it's been that long. It's only, it's been 9 months. It doesn't really. I got surgery right after the fight, recovered for about 3 months or so, and then got right back to work. So, yeah, it feels honestly it doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Interestingly, Sean, we've had a couple of Aussie blokes in the most recent 2 pay-per-views claim the belt after some time away. Of course, Alex Volkanovski, who's on this show right now, and of course, Jack Della Maddalena. We saw those guys evolve in their time away. What did you make of their big returns, and what can fans expect from your evolution this weekend, Sean?
Yeah, watching Volk come back and do what he did is, inspiring. It's badass. Watching Jack do his thing is cool. It's cool to see. It's inspiring when you see stuff like that. So, I'm looking to go out there and do that too.
Well, interestingly, you were such an active fighter, Sean, so I guess it must have been pretty refreshing for you to not have a fight lined up. What was the most fun part about being away for 9 months, and the worst part?
9 months in between fights isn't. I guess if you're comparing to like Volk or Izzy, that's it's a long time. But for the most part, 9 months off is, I'd say maybe average, maybe a little longer. But it didn't feel long. It felt fairly quick. I got surgery, recovered, got right in the fight camp. So just feels like it just feels like that's just my life.
All right, Sean, well, let's talk about that injury. You and I spoke a couple of months ago in Miami, and you told me that you had barely been able to wrestle in the lead up to that first fight against Merab. What about this time around? How heavy a focus has that been for you? And have you had to change anything in your approach because of the torn labrum? Is there anything that you needed to alter to ensure that injury wouldn't reoccur?
No, that's what surgery fixes things. So they went in there, reattached it, did what they needed to do with the labrum. Labrum's 100%. I had my right one done in 2018, and it's been great ever since. So, no, they went in there, did what they needed to do, fix it up, and got back to work wrestling and grappling and preparing for Merab, how ideally you would prepare for someone like Merab, and that's, being on the mats, grappling a lot. So, yeah, we were able to do that.
Yeah, and Merab's really proven to be a very, very difficult puzzle to solve. Many believe that Umar Nurmagomedov might be his kryptonite. That didn't turn out to be the case. I guess when you look at him tactically, how difficult is he to solve, and what do you need to do differently in this fight compared to your previous bout against him?
I need to win the first 3 rounds and win the last 2 rounds, and I think that'll get the job done. He's very tricky. He's very good at what he does. You kind of watch him from the outside. He looks sloppy. It looks like he's got a lot of holes, which he does, but he's very, he's good at what he does. He's an expert at getting into positions and holding people there, and that's just what he does, and he's mastered it. So I gotta, do what I do, and let's put his lights out.
You're a great student of the game, Sean. What did you make of his bout against Umar in January?
It was his best. It was probably the only performance that was entertaining to watch. He did a great job. It was very entertaining. It was fun to watch, and very impressive, especially to do that against someone like Umar.
It's a great rivalry that you guys seem to have drummed up, but I mean, it also seems to be a pretty good friendship. I mean, I saw the vision of you two together in the jacuzzi. Any stories from that?
Yeah, no, there's no. It's just what it is. You know, I was at the PI. He was at the PI. You know, I wasn't gonna not do what I was gonna do because Merab was there. So, you know, we just ended up being at the same place, same time. Merab's at the PI 8 days a week. So it's, you know, how you're gonna run into that dude.
No kisses on the back in the hot tub?
Not quite.
Sean, you've got a massive fan base, and you seem to be somebody who feeds off the energy of the fans. This time around, it's a bit different because Merab seems to have really endeared himself to the MMA populace, and the reception for you in Miami was a little bit frosty. Has that affected anything with regard to your mental preparation for this, particularly considering you're kind of the heel now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think about it at all. Not even a little bit. I'm just, you know, there to put in the work, show up, and fight. It's just all occupies my mind.
Yeah, the fans can be a bit fickle. I don't think you have anything to worry about there. Sean, last one before we let you go. We know you've got the farm over there in Arizona. Volk recently bought his own farm here in New South Wales, and he is loving the farmer lifestyle. In fact, he got me and Dan Hooker last year to chase his chickens around the farm and return them to the coop, and that proved very difficult, as we can see by these humiliating pictures. Any advice for me on how to catch those chickens, because they can be tricky to get?
Bring snacks. You gotta trick them. You gotta trick them. Bring some snacks out there. Put them by your feet, and then attack.
Right, gain their trust and then swoop.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, they were difficult to corner, let me tell you. Sean O'Malley, thanks ever so much for your time. We can't wait to see you in action this weekend. I'll let you get back to getting your hair done. I'm sure it'll look fantastic on Fight Night.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, there he was, the Sugar Show. I don't think I've ever had an interview like that. Guys, have you ever gotten your hair braided?
my last few fights, can't you see,
yeah.
mate? You got there's plenty of work just here, mate.
Yeah. What does your hair look like when it's grown out, Rob?
Like Gilbert Burns.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Bruno, that's a good hairline you got there, man.
But you know what's funny? I realised the other day, I was speaking about it with my wife, my kids have never seen my hair. Like, because I've always just kept it short for as long as I can think. So
it might be a sign to grow it out.
The problem is when you have like afro-like hair, there's a stage between short and afro that just looks stupid. And I don't want to run that gauntlet, you know.
My brother's got that real thick curly hair. Like I don't know, yours would be like literally it's waterproof. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
It ripples off.
You
yours
throw water
like
on my hair and it just slides off.
Okay.
You know what? My hair's thicker than Gilbert Burns.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks thick. Like I said, great hairline.
Well, Juliana Pena's got a lot of hair, and we're going to speak to her right after this break. Don't go away.